Hey, UHP, Bill Garrity here. It is March 8th. It is 8:21 tonight. And I wanted to get in touch and do another Facebook video. We got a lot going on right now. We've been fighting contract-wise, and we've got some stuff going on up at the Capitol that I want everybody to know about. You know for a fact that we've been fighting through the pandemic. We've been working to try and get hazard pay, workers' compensation presumption that COVID-19 is a workplace acquired illness, and include mental health into things covered by conditions covered under workers' comp. One of the big things I've been pushing for, both at the state level, is possibly PTSD issues post-COVID. So I want to start with that. As you're also likely aware, we've been having some difficulty at the negotiating table. Our employer has been less than cooperative on these issues. And unfortunately, there's the same people calling us heroes are treating us like zeros. I know you guys have heard that before. They ignored the provision in our contract that provides emergency pay for hourly employees who continue working during the pandemic, during the public health emergency. We've grieved that, and right now the case is in the hands of an arbitrator. On top of refusing to provide hazard pay, they've asked us to give up raises, if you remember that. That was a little bit ago. We had those raises coming in July, and they wanted us to give them up. We said absolutely not. We got our raises, and that was what we got for last year. And again, remember, we took 3 zeros before we took two consecutive raises. At the bargaining table, we're proposing to allow mental health conditions related to workplace trauma be acknowledged as workplace injury for the purpose of workers' compensation. And we're also trying to establish standards for adequate PPE, for supplies of adequate PPE. And for some reason, they're fighting us on that. So when a union earns a victory, not only is it a win for its members, but in most cases, it's also a win for all working people because it raises the standards of employment. Now, pretty much everything that we had just discussed there that I had gone ahead and laid out for you, these are things that we've been fighting for, I want to say, the past 6 to 8 months, not just within the walls of UConn Health. These are the things that we've been really working hard with our legislators. And we've made some headway. I'm going to get to that in just a second. As one of the largest locals in the state representing healthcare professionals, our successes often impact other healthcare professionals, union or non-union, sometimes gradually, sometimes more immediate. And eventually, all working people benefit because the success resulted in an elevated labor standard. Even when our own bosses put up resistance, we take the fight to a higher level. As public employees, we take it to their bosses, the state legislature. We can be leaders in the fight for what's right, both for our members and beyond. And here's our chance. On Thursday, March 11th, the state legislature's Labor and Public Employees Committee is holding a public hearing on a proposed bill that would make state law more favorable to employees when it comes to matters related to COVID-19. This is known as the Omnibus Bill. It addresses the exact things we've been fighting for: hazard pay, workers' comp presumption of COVID-19 as a workplace illness. I want to stop there for a second. We fought really, really hard when we first started with this, and a year ago now, for goodness sake. I think it was back in April. If you remember, our dermatology department, they had at least 12 members who were actually COVID positive, and we had to fight to get the place closed down for a short time. But one of our members, came to me, and we did the paperwork and put it through for our workers' comp, and it was denied. And we really pushed. We didn't take no for an answer. We actually had a meeting, and again, working with our legislators and our legislative aides up at AFT Connecticut, we got meetings all the way up to the governor. And we were set to go in front of Attorney General William God, I almost said William Barr, sorry, William Tong. And at that point in time, the governor signed his executive order, I think it was 7JJJ, which gave us workers' comp presumption for COVID-19 for workplace. Since that time, that bill has, that executive order has expired, but that doesn't change the fact that it's still important and we need to keep this going. So this bill that's going to be discussed on March 11th, has that piece in it. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about there. The next piece of that that we're going to be discussing in there is the PPE, preparedness for hospitals. Now, UConn Health also does a lot of stuff right too every now and then. And that's one of the things that we're doing. We are using what UConn Health has put forth in our daily dashboard. That information is really, really good for everybody to have. And it's one of those things, it's a transparency issue. And what we're doing here is trying to go ahead and get every other healthcare facility to have to do that. The nice thing is, as a union group, like I said earlier, you know, when we do things better, other people have to do better also. And that's just what's happening. When this bill passes, the other hospitals are going to have to do the same thing. They're going to have to give what people have for PPE. They're going to have to go ahead and tell people what's in their stockpiles. And this is important stuff to know. So this is a big thing. We've already got it at UConn Health, but this is another thing where we're fighting for other people that don't have what we have. All right. So again, and that's bigger than just UHP and UConn Health. And at least some of our elected officials know that. All right. It's our job now to make sure all of our elected officials know how important all this stuff is. We've said it before, and today is the day to commit to taking action, to see through what we stand for, what we've been fighting for, and get across the finish line. I'm going to ask you, we're going to ask you to do at least one of the following things. The first thing I'd like you to do is to take an opportunity to contact your state rep, state senator, state rep. Let them know that this is important. Let them know why it's important. It's great if you would be able to take a few sentences and tell your story. Go right ahead and tell them what you did through COVID. You know, if you were not one of those individuals who was in the building every day, you know, tell them what it was like for you knowing what was going on in there, because I know everybody was talking. You know, this is the kind of stuff that these guys need to know. Our legislators need to know. We're going to be sending out an email so that you're going to have the ability and ways to find out who your state senator and state rep are if you don't already know. And if you don't already know, I'm failing in a way because I told you how important that stuff was. The next thing I'd like you to do, if you have time, this is coming out a little late, but I'd love to have you write testimony for this bill. All right. Submit written testimony in support of the omnibus bill. You can also sign up to speak before the committee and during the public hearing. We pushed already and have asked all of our negotiating team members to go ahead and do this. And I'm really hoping that we do very well with this. I've already gotten a significant number of people who've written testimony, and I'm very, very proud of them. Some of the stuff I've read has been really good. And it's going to be nice to not just have officers like myself or Christy Francesco being up there doing this. It's really important. It's powerful when it comes from you guys, you know, the guys doing the actual work. If you've never heard me say this before, getting, you know, a legislator has told us getting 10 letters on one specific thing, that makes them take notice. People don't take the time to write to their legislators. This is what's important. This is what I'd like you to do. The last thing that I'm asking for, and this one's good. I love this one. On the CBAC website, CBAC, for those that don't know, State Employee Bargaining Agent Coalition. That is a group of all of the state employee unions that get together, and those are the ones who bargain for our healthcare and pension benefits. So we're putting together a Faces Behind State Service campaign. And We're going to go ahead and give you links to this stuff. And I'd love to have you look at it, because I'm telling you what, as soon as we read this, we were like, oh my God. Through all of this, through all of the COVID-19 pandemic, UHP and UConn Health needs to be the poster child here. We're doing everything. We didn't shut down. We took care of patients. We took on more patients. We floated people around. We did everything we could through all of this to make sure everybody was safe. You know, between us and corrections, you know, we never shut down. And I would love to just flood that page with all of the people from UHP and let them know how important that we think it is. How important we think CVAC is. I've already done mine. A number of people have already done theirs. We started this just, today's Monday. So we just started this on Saturday. And since Saturday, there's been 22 editions, and I believe that at least half of them are from UHP. So I would love to see you take the time to go ahead and do those things. If you're not sure what to say, we're going to go ahead and give you some information on some sample language in upcoming emails. It's really not difficult. It's a 4-question survey. They'd like to have a picture with it. Like I said, if we're saying we're the faces, so we want to be able to have stuff like that. And with that, I think I'm going to wrap up for tonight. We are going to start giving you a little bit more information every week or so. I get good results and feedback from these videos. We're also looking at possibly starting some video town halls. So like everyone's getting used to Zoom. So if we do a Zoom meeting like not twice a week, but once every other week, where members are able to come on and actually have questions asked and answered. We're trying to, make everything as open and honest as we can for you guys. So that's about all I'm going to say for tonight. I hope everyone stays well. I'm hoping everyone has gotten their COVID vaccines. Until everyone's done, please continue to wear your mask, continue to social distance, and continue to keep everybody safe. Good night.